welcome back to your pick a card. As you can see before you, there's the Star with Group 1, the Two of Swords, Group 2, our Queen of Pentacles, Group 3. If you need more time to make your selection, feel free to pause the video. Otherwise, we will get started with Group 1. And I want to thank all of you guys for pulling up today. If and when it resonates, feel free to hit the thumbs up. I appreciate it. It's an energy boost for the channel. If it doesn't resonate, check the video tab in the playlist to see if I touch in a different area for you. And if all fails, leave me a comment below. Let me know what I could have done better. Okay? So we will get started with Group 1, the Star. All right, Group 1, let's roll out that beautiful beam footage. What I want to say is, spoiler alert, you got the moon twice. So I feel you may not know this person. You could share a moon sign. They could be a Cancer, all right? And or there's a mystery, okay? Maybe there's this divine experience that could come from it. I've seen that happen. I've heard that happen. My clients, whether you're in a relationship or not, it's like you come across a person that ignites something for you. Now, I can't say that it's an awakening, which is normally what happens in those situations. But for you guys, it looks like that Two of Wands is seeing the world as your oyster and looking forward to the future, even if it's unknown, with this person or in a situation that leads you to this person. They could have an Aquarius moon. I just thought about that. Oh my gosh. If you're Aquarius moon, there could be some transits coming up in the near future that benefit you, that are favorable toward your relationships. I know that I love to do the Venus star love readings. So some of you guys may have had those or could be interested in that. One of my favorite things about the star card and a few other cards in the tarot deck is the 7 stars that are in the star card. And I know it's like 17. So when I think of 10, that's like the Wheel of Fortune or a completion of some sort. Everyone loves the 10s. Even the 10 of Swords just talks about a lot of information to process. It's not always horrible, but it's like the 7 in the 17th card, I feel is complemented by these 7 stars. So some of you could resonate, or your, connecting situation could resonate with the 7 sisters or a certain star tribe or collective, maybe even constellation, because you got the moon, full moon actually, with the night sky. And I think because I used this deck first, this, I think, crescent moon, which I think is waxing, because I think the waning has more moon to it. I do believe I'm getting better with this. So that could be significant, where we go from the full moon to like a waxing moon, and we go from the material to something in nature. I'm noticing the differences in the moon card, where you have the buildings, which are sometimes reflected in the tower. And then even in the wild unknown, this moon card, the tower is also, I think, represented by a big tree. I could be tripping. I don't think so. That's weird, but I'll say it. It could be significant to sometime in September. I don't know how many of the collectives that I have that are maybe in other countries, or for some of you that could be in the great city of New York. Okay, New York is a state too, though. So I love the oyster, because usually with the crab and the shells and the things underwater, there's something hidden inside, and usually what's hidden inside is the oyster. And for you, Group 1, she's holding the oyster. So it's like whatever is mysterious Whatever is unseen or unbeknownst in this situation, I still feel that it's going to bring some level of confidence, where you are excited to move forward. And then another interesting thing, sometimes the Seven Pentacles points to reflection. She does sometimes see the reflection of herself in the water. That is sometimes connected to Gemini. So you have Gemini, Cancer possibly, and Aquarius here. All right. As well as, I do believe, I want to say Sagittarius. Okay. So let's see about your oracle cards. I love that the first one is Grace. Ooh, okay. Look here. So these cards actually inspired the what connection is coming toward you. And group one, I am not mad at these cards. You have sensuality as 36. You have romantic love as 34. And then you have grace as 24. We are in the year 2024. So for some of you, that could be significant to the timing. Within the year, you could meet this connection. If there's any challenge about the situation, romance could be part of it, okay? Now, it's given sensuality, whether that's the forefront of the relationship or something that could benefit it, because grace somehow complements this sensuality, which could help, and you see that, in getting like this romantic love. For some of us, sensuality with the moon and Cancer is like my Queen of Cups, who is very emotional, and it's Pluto, Scorpio energy. And then sometimes we can get super excited, and we can be star-crossed and self-sabotage, and sometimes get into the shadowy energy, because that moon card came twice. It could be 2 moon cycles, which I believe would be, let's see here, like 2 months, I would say, but it's like short of 2 months because it's just 28 days. The number 28 is the, I think, 3rd decan of Pisces, and may be connected to the Queen or King of Cups. So for some of you, grace and sensuality in a favorable combination could help get this romance, okay? So sensuality reads, the frequency of sensuality reminds us that as spirits in human bodies, we are sensual beings experiencing joy and pleasure from the physical world through our senses, okay? So romantic love comes in. The frequency of romantic love supports our experience to know ourselves through the reflection of a conscious lover. Okay, not bad. But it is the second card, which could be the crossing card, just like this moon. And knowing ourselves through the reflection of a conscious lover. Y'all catch that, right? So we have the reflection that I mentioned with the star leaning over toward the water, right? Also could even be a reflection as in this oyster, okay? Sometimes the moon itself has a reflection of the shadow, which gives the appearance of the moon phases. So it could talk about phases and seeing ourselves through the phases of either past relationships or this one, that may be significant to a healing process or something, like I said, favorable to help support bringing this thing through. Now grace comes in and it's like an outcome or advice for some of us that could still, even with the warning, sabotage the situation, I'll be honest. Others of us, it's like the advice, and looking at the color pattern here, I feel that communication as well as the unspoken, right? Because you got the blue, which is given like turquoise. So I'm thinking like the throat chakra with romance, okay, for sure. The third eye with the turquoise. And then you have some of the heart. Oh, and I learned this recently. Okay. So in the guided meditation that I did for the throat chakra, which is super cute, it did mention to, you know, focus on the lights that reflected other connecting chakras. And so we got to a point where we visualized and connected with the heart chakra so that we could always speak with love. And then there's another part where it talks about like you're communicating and being creative. Sometimes creativity could be a helpmate to romance or kind of fix a situation that may lack sensuality and romance for us to be creative. But nonetheless, if all fails, it's kind of like grace is the elixir to being gentle with ourselves as well as whomever this person is in the situation. It's also the more helpful aspect of the strength card, where the lion could represent the ego, the one going up the yellow brick road for courage or whatever the case may be. But I know it's tied to some of that fire. Okay. This person could be a fire sign, could be a Leo. And it's like, I am not trying to tell you to coddle adults, but it may be favorable when dating a masculine, an alpha type, or a fire sign or Leo, that we are a little bit sensual and graceful, because that's the benefit of the Queen of Wands to her counterpart, is that she's accommodating and spicy, but not aggressive and agitated like when she is in shadow. That could hinder the romance to be at each other's throats or in confrontation or just heavily frustrated, abrasive, or aggressive. So sensuality, romantic love, and grace is definitely giving like King of Cups, Queen of Wands energy. So it's just like fire and water, you know. Doesn't have to be that for all of you, but you do have fire and water in the star card, which is the calm after the storm. So maybe Spirit wanted me to bring that up too, that the 2 towers in the moon card, or 4 towers actually, so somebody is going to be like, maybe, okay, let me interrupt that thought with this thought. Some of you could see a person or run into a person like several times and unexpectedly like see them or just have some sort of run-in several times. And I feel like that can even be like symbolic for some of you, where it's like divine, or you know, you feel like it's a sign or something like that. This person or you could be a content creator. I know sometimes when the star card and wands come up, as well as a mention of the Wheel of Fortune, it talks about a little bit of fame or being put on a pedestal some, okay, but maybe just working through the shadow of some energy or a mystery that Spirit ain't telling me. So what I'm going to do live for you, group 1, we'll get it clarified for this moon card, because it's clarified itself. I used another deck, and don't worry, every group got a pull from the Wild Unknown, and you guys are the only one that has the same card from this vintage little deck here. So let's get, if any, because I don't like bullying. Yeah, this is either no, or it represents pettiness, that ego, marriage, energy. And look at he's in shadow. You can't see his face. So there could be someone within this situation. It doesn't have to be the person coming toward you. If they, it could be their ideology about marriage or having things their way, which leads to petty confrontation and arguments, and grace is necessary. Now that could definitely hinder romance if for some of you this is a friend, but one of you likes each other like more than that, and grace is needed to not get in our own ego But seeing the world as your oyster and ships coming in just says that I've went through that too. Okay, so one time, was he a Taurus? He was. Oh, okay, so Spirit want me to tell you about that. Okay, look at that. Under there. Okay, so it was a Taurus. I think, I don't want to lie. Oh my God. So, here it is. He seemed perfect. But then, quickly, he seemed weird. Less available. And he blamed it on his kids. He was like, oh, I'm sorry, I was just da-da-da-da. Oh, I'm sorry, I was busy with this. And I have children, so, and I run a business, and, right? So I honestly, I'll hear you out. You know, I'm nice, but I don't take excuses like that a lot, okay? It was odd that he appeared perfect, like my type as far as like physically. He spoke my language, okay? Very giving as a person, the way he explained, you know, his part in what he brings to the table and all that. Perfect. But then it was this behavior that I feel like was his more than mine. But I even questioned myself. I checked myself. I was like, did you just like sabotage that, or is something actually off? And for a little bit, I wasn't really sure, but I was comfortable with, I've been down that road where someone makes me feel, and I know, what's his name? I know Cat Williams said, can't nobody make you feel nothing. But I have been down that road where someone doesn't help or allows you to feel a certain way, and people don't just, everybody has a different vibe. Everybody has a different energy. And it's just some people that I've been around that bring out certain aspects of me. So I kind of chunked it up to whether it was me tripping or he was actually, you know, playing mind games. I didn't care. So I was proud and graceful about that. There was no back and forward. I didn't tell him off. I just blocked him. I didn't even say shit. Really, I don't think. I didn't. And if I did say something, I didn't make it a back and forward with this, you know, Five of Swords. I just let it be that because I know what it is that I want. I'm confident about it. I don't play games with shit that don't make sense because I'm too old. And even if it was me tripping, I just would prefer a partner that was easier to deal with. Not going to hold you, easier to tolerate. Because if it's me, it's me. If it's them, it's them. I want something that works regardless of who is toxic, right? That could be a situation for y'all. Don't have to be. But 2 5s came out. So either Spirit's like, I'm not clarifying that moon card. I already gave you something. Stop asking. Because 5s are about change with me and aren't always my favorite cards. But I have begun to like 5s a little bit more in my working with Saturn. Okay, and I know some of y'all ain't out there still driving the Saturn star. That's funny. That was a cute card though. I'm not gonna hold you. So anyway, that's the clarifier. We have the 5 of Swords where the energy could be a little bit off. I know sometimes the 5 of Swords points to a person that is having a hard time, and a lot of my empaths and star seeds out here, you could attract a person that needs you because you like fixing people and they're going through a thing, and here you are, you know, going to be the exorcism for them. And maybe it could even lead you to see your purpose. You know what I'm saying? So it could be some starseed work for you. Otherwise, I just see it as some confrontation behind belief systems, somebody's way or the highway, and even marriage. Okay, well, let's just be generous tonight, because let's see what we got here. Oh, look at that. Ego or grace. And you got 2 2s. 22 is about action. So I feel that there's not a whole bunch of action in the 2 of Wands. It's more of an internal thing. The Two of Pentacles is an external thing. So, but oh man, this is cute. You know what? This deck is hard to come by because they old. When I saw them pop up online, had to have them. They could have asked for $1 million. I probably would have still wanted them. Do y'all see how our little baby here? Usually in the Two of Wands, you saying the world is your oyster, looking out at the ships coming in. They're at a distance, so it does show that it's not a lot of action, but an action is coming up. It takes like this initial thing, and now we're at this pivotal point of what next, or in between the initial thought, processing how our feelings about it, right, and then getting into the other, the 3, 4, 5, 6 of Wands, whatever. This one is about actual movement and momentum, and the 3 birds in the background. See, I told y'all about them birds. The last time I did a pick a card and some birds flew by my window, I said that could be a symbol for you guys. Now, I don't want to, what do they say? Stop reflecting. Stop deflecting. But when I see them 3 little birds, it gives 3 swords for me. And for whatever reason, I just don't feel for some of you, because I was so excited with this sensuality, romance, and grace. But I can't. I'm not a fibber. And then some of you going to appreciate it and be like, come back to this video and say, girl, rah, rah, rah. But for some of you, this change that comes right after this feeling of the world is my oyster, which could piss somebody off, right? But the change sometimes talks about juggling. And the juggling could be in split minds about marriage. And that is not a healthy thing for someone whose mind is made up on marriage. So I feel that actions speak louder than words. It's a very favorable message for you, Group 1. And 21 minutes into your reading, I think I'm going to leave it with that, because 21 is a very favorable number. Okay. All right. So it could be a collaborative act and an offer. For some of you, as I look at the bottom of the deck, this is, the Hierophant up in here still has this my way or the highway kind of thing, and what you're going to do about it. And the traditional 3 of Pentacles, somebody's pouring out a cup. And it's just funny, she didn't put it in her cup. She didn't put it in her card. I said cup, she didn't put it in her cup. The man pouring out his cup isn't in here, but it may be a Pisces. So if some of you if some of you run into a Pisces man, or just someone who's emotionally immature, I don't like emotionally immature and, fickle or whatnot. Others of you, this offer, just like the moon card, could be a little bit mysterious, and this person may be a part of, I don't want to say a society, but their belief systems may be just a little bit unorthodox. They could be in the occult or just new age modern philosophy, which is not bad. They could come off as a Hierophant type, and work with energy, because still you see how everything in the 5 of Swords is dim and blue. These people are dark, so the energy is maybe dark and heavy, and that don't have to be negative. A dark, heavy energy, and then add the Hierophant on top is just, y'all may like him. I wouldn't want nobody like that, because I'm upbeat and light, and I'm flexible and versatile. And sometimes if somebody is too much of one thing, that could limit us, because I like diversity. I may want to go to a hip hop concert one week, and go to a formal, the mayor's ball or something. One of my attorney friends invite us to a mayor's ball, or I just want to go here and there and, everywhere. And I just got some dope, dark, I was going to say blood drinking, Metallica shirt wearing, no disrespect, right? Or whatever. So I don't know, Group 1, you have to tell me how that go, and we'll get to Group 2. Group 2, you start with a number 2. That's kind of cray-cray. You have the 2 of Swords, our Knight of Cups. Okay. and the Hermit. One of the tarot clarifiers you have is the Empress. I'm putting everybody's wild unknown clarifier there, so don't get worried. I love the Empress. That is a mature phase in womanhood. Talks about a mother, a wife, Venus. Where it falls in your chart, abundance. If you have had any issues with attracting codependent men or Casanovas, protect yourself and go within and follow your star child, because I don't know about this one. For some of you, not everybody. The intuitive message that I received when your cards were first shuffled was about a very protected, kind of guarded individual that may have spent a lot of time alone or isolated. You could be coming into conversation with a very charming, chivalrous individual. And just like I started the reading with, that could be your energy. And I feel like taking a more nurturing approach, a more abundant approach to the situation could be favorable. Now let's tie in your bonus cards. We will start with intimacy and the number 26. You also have presence and believe. Now, if we start off with intimacy, the energy of intimacy supports us trusting that we are safe to allow closeness. If there is any guardedness or someone who is very protective of themselves, this number 26, which connects to an 8, could be significant to the situation within itself. For some of you, these next connections could be friendships, co-workers, anything that just may have some sort of impact on your day. For you, group 2, I feel this is very specific, clean and cut. It says intimacy. So there may be an intimate partner in your near future. Now, presence came out next with the number 32. I see the number 32 as a master number. Okay? It is some level of support, focus, full attention, and staying in the here and now. When presence comes up, or the advice to stay in the here and now, as the previous card told us to trust, that is giving, some of us, because of past situations and or refusing to see things in a certain light, it could hinder our perspective. And I'm not judging, right? I'm not saying that how you feel and what you guard and what caused it isn't real, but that this might not be for you. There are some people on this planet that perceive the details, not so much what happened, but the details and what happened took them severely personally, and have implemented their feelings toward relationship, marriage, or love toward that experience with that particular person. When breakups, makeups, lies, deception, friendship, just mysteries, all those things happen every day, all day. You have some people that learn from them, grow and move forward, and you have some people that make it their life story. Shut down, cut life off, go retreat. Whatever you've done or whatever they've done is your beeswax. I'm just reading the cards, okay? So intimacy and presence, trust, and then present moment. Now, the advice or outcome for some of you, this could be a spiritual partner, a soulmate. You have the master number 11, just like I said, 32 represents some level of mastery. Now, the frequency of belief supports our sense of self-worth based on our gifts and talents and a strong connection to source. Now, what I like about this group too is that some of the other groups had cards where the self-worth had something to do with something outside of them, like seeing my worth through others or this relationship. And nothing is wrong with that, because I have seen that before and it made perfect sense when I saw it, that your relationships reflect how you value yourself. But in your case, group 2, it says that your self-worth is based on you, babe, and a strong connection with source. And I appreciate that. So I don't know if I would have picked group 2, because 2 of Swords is my Karate Kid card, where he was taught how to maneuver even when people, oh my gosh, this is perfect for you guys. Okay, so group 2, if any of you have had negative experiences in the past, or currently kind of guarded, working on your trust, and or if you have gifts and talents and a strong connection to source, right? You're prepared either way for whatever is to come, because in the Karate Kid movie, because I was wondering, it was a Karate Kid or Bruce Lee, and somebody in the chat said it was Karate Kid, and then they said I think so. Somebody put something in his eyes and was cheating, right? And then because he had been trained blindfolded like this, he didn't lose a match because somebody else cheated. And you would think, right, because life do this sometimes, you would think we all saw him cheat. How y'all don't stop the fight or take some points off? We all saw this. They let it rock. So for him being what appeared to be the best athlete in this, little situation, he was like, I'm not losing, knowing I'm the best, because he chose to cheat. And thankfully, he had a teacher that prepared him for that moment. And all he had to do was kind of go within and center himself. And he kicked that man's ass. So I hope, group 2, that you don't have to kick nobody's ass in the near future. But if you did, you would do it very peacefully and professionally, okay? Because the Karate Kid in that particular scene was super dope. Now, I don't like the Knight of Cups in the second position a great deal. I do if you don't know this person. I would hate for him to have a wife. I don't like that this Empress is down here and these 2 of Swords started off. What I will say is, if we're waiting on someone to return, they don't have to be a Virgo. There could have been some separation, some isolation. I've learned my value, my worth. I've been focusing on my path and my purpose. And that's pretty unique, because everybody else, it hasn't been pinpointed. And actually some of the groups, it was, you may not know this person, but for you, group 2, as we get ready for Mercury retrograde in August, and we also have Pisces and Neptune retrograding, and then no telling what else, because I ain't really looked. I just know those 2 things are near future. So you could have someone returning with this Knight of Cups, and I'm gonna dig in to see. Let's get a clarifier for okay, 2 Knights. This is, come on, Spirit, now this is a lot. Child, I have the Knight of Swords, which is possibly an ex that we set boundaries with. And I feel like if y'all lived together at one point of time, somebody moved out to experience some things, to go on an adventure, or maybe even have been through the dark night of the soul during that time. That's a lot. There could be plans to communicate about a family situation. And the 2 of Swords talks about being blocked. Okay. I got the Hierophant at the bottom of the deck. So for some of you guys, that Empress could represent a wife. But why he's looking away from the present moment into the future with somebody who is being guided either away from their past or through it is insane. So let's see. That was for the night. And see, a very toxic situation with the 8 of Swords. And look at my finger on this past. So for some of you guys, that past could represent your South Node. South Node could represent a behavior or some debt that we incarnated with. And know, even if you're in the good, grown, big age of senior citizenship, you may not have come to pass with all of your karmic ties and severed them, because those two swords can also point to scissors. Now flip it. I could have some men listening to me right now, which a lot of my collective is. I didn't even know it until I looked at the analytics. But if those two swords are scissors, and I got it crossing the Empress cuts the umbilical cord of the Hangman and lets him out into the world. The Knight of Cups is going out into the world, and he's soul searching. So some of you could meet a person and it just won't stop. Some of you could meet a person that is being released. Now, hopefully it's not from an institution. It could be, so just be mindful of that if it's a past person. And I have where an institution where guards are. I heard that. Oh, because they broke some rules. Okay. I know y'all ain't fooling with people. Okay. Okay. Well, they may have broken some rules. And there's a release of some sort, but others of you, this is a past lover, either in this life or in a past life. So, can I just have one? No. Oh, they're upside down. When I said, I'm not having to play with spirit. When I said, can I have one? Y'all heard me shuffling these cards. I said, can I have one for the Knight of Cups? And this came back up. So, this is like, the Knight of Cups doesn't have the most committed energy. It's a great start, a good friend. It's charming, but it's adventurous and fast-paced, and sometimes fast ain't always long-term. The Ten of Pentacles could point to, like I said, family situations, rushing to move in together. Ooh, not codependent. Okay. Well, some of you guys, and I said that at the beginning when I was like, this Empress here is an older woman, a younger man, and him trying to find solitude, child, with you. But be mindful of setting healthy boundaries and ask this man what his plans are. Like, what are your plans in life? Because somebody just may be in a rush to move in, but some boundaries and rules may need to be set. And then with the King of Swords, sticking to those rules. I'm noticing the King of Swords has his sword planted into the past where he's already set those boundaries. And I ain't going to ask no more about this Knight of Cups. So now we got 3 swords. 3 swords is the truth. And look, that's I love this deck. She has a heart-shaped, he gonna come with flowers. And, I don't know. A lady killer, okay? Because if some of you guys meet an older lady that seems to be great, it's like, how do you dress up stabbing somebody in the heart? Or some sort of truth where someone feels like a jab to the heart. And they finally turn their backs on the situation. And it says the Empress, the High Priestess, the Eight of Cups. I'm telling you what I see. The Death card, that's karmic, that's transformative. And it may even point to the Mercury retrograde for some of you guys. I feel like this has something to do with August. Now for the Two of Swords, you got support. And see what I'm saying? You also have reciprocity, the equal give and take. Now if you're guarded and lacking trust, this giving and receiving should help to be aware of these people's actions and what they're doing. You don't have to distrust somebody if you are actively aware of their behavior, not just taking their words. You know what I'm saying? What are they doing? And I can trust what you're doing unless I don't trust what you're doing, right? Now for the Hermit, okay. Now is this a marriage where somebody's communicating about support? And I don't like how they kind of bind it. The 9 swords could be Libra. Libra is legalities. You see the scale over there. It also talks about sleepless nights and pain, like physical pain for some of you, anxiety. Someone could have anxiety. It may be an Aries. Um, if some of you have like an Aries mother, but there's some sort of tension. And I feel like this 10th sword, okay, because here's the 9 swords. This 10th one is processing that a lot of information. The Emperor could represent, it looks like, I got some married people looking at a picket card about their next connection. For sure. Okay. Well, the Emperor is stability. Is usually a husband or just like a wealthy older man that there's some sort of pain or some sort of communication that's heart piercing. And maybe this represents the energy. It's consistent. Ooh, we are what we attract type deal, because I started this thing off with somebody kind of blocked and closed off because somebody didn't put into a situation how they put in, and they may have trust issues. And then now you got this other person still hurt, and I'm talking about physically hurt, from possibly a past relationship. Now I try not to be toxic and encourage toxicity, but I know somebody who got bit and stabbed by his ex. Not gonna hold you. Now this also talks about the pace of a relationship where we have commitment long term, but then the 8 of Wands is swiftness and taking action. Somebody who may have taken a while to take action, since we did say that we're coming up on the Mercury retrograde, and some of these people may have been from the past. So let's get a clarifier on the Empress. It's the same. I guess Spirit knew I was going to ask. So there's the Knight of Wands long term, going the distance. Oh, okay, a good husband. All right. Oh, okay, but you don't want him. Oh my gosh, some of you is gonna meet a decent person that may be willing to go the distance, but you're guarded and toxic, or just your fears are illusions, delusions. And I'm not talking to everyone, so don't get offended, but the 8 of Swords was there, and that's usually a negative environment or an institutionalized belief system, or just like your fears or your own projections, right? It's one of those. Then you have the 8th sword coming in with this Ace of Swords, and it's like this sword, I don't know if it's my favorite. I don't know if it's how we communicate. I don't know if it's these boundaries. I don't know if it's being on guard. But you had 2 swords. And this sword coming in is 3 swords. Then you got 8 swords. And this sword coming in makes 9 swords. And then the actual 9 of Swords came in with the Emperor, where it talks about pain. And then, trying to find stability. And then you have Libra. But then, if I look at it this way, there's the 9 swords, and now we have 10 swords. So it's like a lot to process. And in this process, it's like swiftness with the 8 of Wands, and the details and the Knight of Pentacles, or Spirit, some sort of communication. Because sometimes the Knight of Pentacles could represent like a divine being next to this belief card and number 11. So it's like messages or something swiftly happening because of transits, because of spirit, because of wave of star seeds and twin flames activations. I don't know. But there could be some communication from someone that's in separation. Belief. I can't. That 8 of Swords won't go away. The 3 of Pentacles is right there with it. And then the Page. Didn't I say that it's the details? It's the details. Look at that. Look at her. So we could, and now back to the exes. We could have some exes. I feel like this, can we try again, is from a masculine ex. And this, ain't forgot, last time is from a feminine ex. And belief is given Pisces, possibly, because that's the mantra. But you also have the number 11, so the person that's been working with spirit, getting support from the spiritual realm and not the physical one. And as I said, that temperance comes out. So I think that is very interesting. And yeah, our beliefs, like, we don't play games. I'm looking at beliefs like, what more can I implement? And for some, this yellow is definitely about communication. Mercury, The Mercury retrograde coming up, it talks about a mystery and protecting something. It's just like the Two of Swords and why, right? It's like the what and why of the Two of Swords. Now, if there was any sort of deception, because like usually a guard protects something from being done. I was asking about spirit, so it's like spirit could be protecting someone from being, you know what I'm saying, duplicated, copied, stole from, deceived. Because it's like, I'm going to run off with these 5 and I'm going to leave these 2. And then she holding on to them 2 because I remember you took them 5. You feel me? And being very guarded and protective because I had more and now I have less because somebody actually took my shit. So that's kind of interesting. That is interesting. I ain't mad at it. And then, oh yeah, you had the 3 of Cups. So it's like some of y'all, the messages that you've told yourself, like you hearing your own thoughts. You hearing your own thoughts and feelings in your head. And I've heard people admit that too. And I'm just rushing y'all, huh? But I've heard people admit that, that once they start thinking something, they will just take it and run with it. And you can't talk them off the ledge. But that is what I have, group 3. And I do hope that I'm sorry, group 2. That is what I have. And we will move to group 3. Group 3. Let's go. I know y'all see that master number 44 up there. I think that's pretty dope. You got the Queen of Pentacles. Oh my gosh. The 5 of Cups. And Le Fou. All right. A new beginning because I missed an opportunity with you. Now, the Queen of Pentacles has probably been being practical in her endeavors, trying to do what makes sense. You know, could be a parent or just a hard worker, someone that's in charge of taking care of others. Now, someone also may want to make a statement, or maybe after past situations, a statement has been made. Because if I missed an opportunity with you, he doesn't have a lot. She has a lot. And this ring on her finger just shows like that the statements she may like to make. Some of you may wear a ring on their finger, and also the governing planet or what it protects. Because I'm noticing it's like a little red ring. I love that. I have a carnelian that looks like that. It's not a ring. It's just like a big ball. I use it in my road opener, candles and oils. And so the Queen of Pentacles may have had doors open for her. Or in the near future she will. So you're being protected from foolishness. However, given the Mercury retrograde, because I'm noticing the yellow backdrop in the Queen and in the Fool. But in the center of the reading, it is crazy. For the collective is where the shadow energy is. Now, I would hope that people don't watch the pick a card and be like, that's past, present, future. On this channel, Spirit knows and I know sometimes the second card is what's crossing or challenging the first one. Whether I do a full spread or 3 cards, 4 cards, I don't care if I did 7. And it's never been wrong. It's never made the story out of order. So just wanted to say that for anyone curious about that, because I was just like, why would Spirit, well, I ain't questioning Spirit, but it's like I've noticed that center area, especially in group 1 and 3, and look, that's Spirit. Group 1 and 3, it's the little shade, right? So it's just like, I don't know about that. So that made me want to just air that out. If anybody's having some issues or being shady with that past, present, future, or situation and what's crossing it. Now, interconnectedness between our emotional well-being and our material abundance. Because notice I said the Fool doesn't have much. So what your next connection could be with gain of some sort. Okay. Emotional resilience because of this Five of Cups, and not having or providing or all of that good stuff that I said about the Queen of Pentacles at the beginning of the reading. If that isn't the case for you, it could put us into depressed energy or just gloom a tad. And Spirit is saying that to manifest, okay, to attract, to not make it worse, to not waste your experience on something that clearly you can't change right now, or don't want to, or don't know how, we can still try to be teachable, cheerful, joyful, find some sort of gratitude in the things that we do have. Because the only thing different, from this Queen and the Fool, it looks like it's the presentation. She doesn't look bothered or anything. She looks poised and mature. But at least the Fool's smiling, child. I like the leaves on her jacket too. So this could be significant to fall for some of you guys. And some of you, like, this necklace is kind of popular. It's not like the herringbone, but it's close. She's just very decorated. Okay? Now, decorated for some people could talk about a shady past, okay? Some hard times trying to move mountains. And for some of you, it's like, it could have led to a dark place. And now someone wants to be renewed, or are being advised to try this renewal of some sort. It's like as above, so below. The Fool has the Sun card in the top right corner. And that's usually Source. Or it represents that unity, union, happiness, and joy. That youthful, teachable energy where a new journey begins, right? But we started out with the Queen of Pentacles, and it's like her sun has a star in it. Okay, and it's down in the bottom right corner. So it's giving me as above, so below, spiritual and physical. For some of you, like I said, the materials. Okay, so we're gonna unpack that. Your in case you want to see what other cards you have, and I pulled clarifiers for group 1 and 2, so I'm gonna do that for everyone. Now this is adventure. So some of us, it's kind of like there's a need for a change. There's a need to take a trip, okay? There could be Sagittarian energy, or it just talks about an adventure of some sort. Something that may be exciting, that puts you in the mood for whatever this passion is. Now, it could also be like this Kundalini energy or some sort of spark. There may be a spark that changes your energy field, and or where missed opportunities were, new beginnings are presenting themselves. So where doors may have closed or we were negligent, new doors will open, and there's some new spark of inspiration, but this spark comes with some sort of motion. I like that. Maybe they like your motion, and they feel like they missed an opportunity with you because of the statements you're making or something you're doing, okay? Now, the first card you have, I was like, is something stuck on here? I thought y'all snuck in. Y'all did. Look at this. I knew I wasn't tripping. Let's see. This 6th chakra got a buddy. Now, I mean, I've been having this deck for a while, and I have never seen the cards, in order, like, when you take them out of the box. So, I'll take it. You got the 6th chakra and the 7th one. It points to the 3rd eye and the crown. Notice that she has a crown, and the 3rd eye can sometimes point to the 3 cups. You got 5 cups, and then the 5 cups, we got the spilled 3 cups, but it's like 2 cups behind. So if this is energy where we are under some sort of, like, I don't want to say psychic attacks. That could happen for those of you that are like super tapped in. But others of us, it's like if your energy field is being, manipulated. I feel like this person, or a situation where there's like this telepathic connection, and I feel to improve the situation, you may want to meditate, focusing on that 7th chakra, the crown chakra. there's some issues there between the pineal gland and your crown. This, I'm noticing, like even in the cards, this dark area around it. Then the black could sometimes be protective, just like the Five of Cups. I'm sparing you from something. And then it could also be a thing that we need protection from, that could lead to the blue and the shade. Okay. Now in your next connection, to see two of the higher vibrational chakras is very interesting. And along with them, you have 34, which is a 7, and we have passion. Okay. So you have 6, 7, 8, and 7. So 77 could be significant for some of you guys. You got 34 and 44, so 444. And the number 3. But passion, the frequency of passion reminds us that beneath every intense emotion lies the hidden gem of insight, balance, and calm. It assists us in finding the balance within this intensity, moving us from chaos to calm of its core, where we can let its long-lasting wisdom fill us up. So, chaos, this queen is asking us to be grounded, because I think chaos with this Knight of Wands is going to lead us to attracting that shadowy energy. So what could come of being within the environment or realm of chaos is something that Spirit is going to have to protect you from, but it's still going to kind of like make you feel like an opportunity was missed for some of you. So if a situation transpired between me and someone, whether it was new or not, and it led me down a rabbit hole of shit that I had already been dealing with, and I can't shake it, this spark or chaos that led me to this rabbit hole is the very same reversed answer to what could be my solution, which is being adventurous, being practical, and doing what makes sense, but not being too serious, and doing something different. Take a new route home on your way from work if you can't travel and take a vacation. It's just try to do something different. Be optimistic and joyful and upbeat, because either some of us naturally feel this Five of Cups sometimes, and or a situation could provoke it. Like chaos comes in, your next, I'm not manifesting this for you. There's different scenarios, and I've talked about them all, so please don't feel you have to settle for chaos coming in and kicking up any dust, because who would think it run, right? Now this card I like because you got universal love, and I think that it's super dope because universal love not only points to intimate connections, but friendships, spiritual relationships, how you feel about yourself, and so on and so forth. The frequency of universal love activates the connection we feel to each other, to our planet, and the whole existence itself. So that's why I said for some of you, I knew it with those chakras and passion with the third eye and the crown. For some of us, it's a time to stay grounded, because we could miss an opportunity and then have to wait for this new situation. So if you were trying to manifest something, now you're going to have to wait to the next new moon. Or if you were trying to reconcile a situation, they may not see you as mature as they did previously. Others of you, it's just spirit itself protecting you from temporary situations. So if you were to meet someone, and maybe you ain't going to meet them, maybe you're going to do something different that day, because I did say do something different, and the cards did too, so you should. And in doing something different, you avoid something that, or someone that could have been attracted, that could have been a new situation in your life. And it's like, not her, not him, not today, right? Type deal. So I took clarifiers for group 1 and 2, and I am going to take some for you now. Let's start with that Five of Cups. I did see the Sun. I also saw the Two of Swords. I have Spirit and the Six of Swords. So yeah, I'm protecting you from something. This is karmic debt, okay? Somebody might be in debt. or just moving away from it by being guided to their happy ending, knowing that you don't have to accept all cups. And the Eight of Cups is about letting go and moving forward. The Five of Cups is sometimes hard to turn away from, but you do gather the strength somehow, because in this Eight of Cups, they was all kicked over in the Five of Cups, spilling out everywhere. You managed to stack them up, look at them, but you can't take it with you. Now, for some of us, where this is about material things and possessions, if there's a situation coming up, some endings, a transformation, it could be a job, maybe relocating, you can't take it with you, and it's just about accepting it. And then, for others of you, I just saw, run that back. Damn. I just saw the Hierophant and the High Priestess, and when I say run that back, the devil jumped out. So a Capricorn could be involved. And then we also have judgment. Okay, we have judgment here, so it definitely speaks to discernment, things from our past resurfacing. For others of you, it could be a family situation, and usually the Queen of Pentacles may be a single parent. The Six of Swords does show typically it's a lady and a child, but the child isn't in this particular deck. You just see the lady and the guy like rowing the boat through the waters. Okay, there may be a celebration, or you may meet this individual out for the next set of you. I feel that you could be celebrating and meet this person, I don't know, out and about. That's crazy. I don't know. And look at me being messy. It's like you're going to meet them at a bank. Some of you could, though. They may be Libra or have Libra in their chart. It also talks about integrity. So there could be a funny situation that transpires. And if there's any like gossip or slander for some of you guys, where somebody's holding on to some information, here's the justice system. Now, I'm not shocked, because I have had clients that may experience legalities through people that they've dated and or co-parents. So for some of you, there could be a situation that's a little bit interesting with all of these chakras, and then this third eye lit, and then source stepping in and guiding you through something. There very well could be a situation where you guys were celebrating and it leads to some sort of legal situation. Others of you, when it comes to your gifts and your abilities, because of your extensive level to manifest, right, your powers and stuff like that, it just says that you may want to be careful and protective of your thoughts and what you let in and who you let in, because somebody holding on to secrets and then needing to make adjustments or using it for revenge and karma. Just be mindful of that. And maybe that's why you're by yourself in the first place. For the Knight of Wands, seriously, I got the High Priestess. I also got, how many cups is this? 7 cups. So options, suitors, and not really caring about any of them. When I asked for, what is this? For some of you guys, it's confusion and chaos. Confusion and chaos leads someone not to speak and kind of retreat, and probably why they don't like relationships in the first place. Others of you, this spiritual thing or this spark could be, like I said, the Kundalini experience, working with spirit to modify your energy so that you can attract things outside of what you don't want. If you've been kind of like in the area of relationships, attracting things that no longer serve you, we're working through that. Now, for others of you, I do have the Sun card, the 10 of Cups, on the ground here with the Chariot, the 6 Cups, and I'm sorry about that, the 8 of Swords. And I don't know if all of those cups were necessary for that situation, but I do hope that it helps. Until next time.